Hello YouTubers. I got my other tractor back from the shop yesterday and thought I might give y'all a little equipment rundown. Some people have asked about it. This is a 4230 John Deere. He's rated at 100 horse. I've had the pump turned up a little. He's about 110 now. This is my main baling tractor. This is the reason why the 6400 is called JR. I call this one John. John's only purpose anymore is just to bale hay. That's what he does. He pulls the baler. And he does a good job at it too. I've got a few hills and hollers to go on. That's why you see those big weights on the wheels, and they got fluid in them. He is heavy. He will stick to the ground. Just thought I'd come up and see everything that I'm going to have to do this year to get ready for the hay season. It looks like a tree limb. I don't know if y'all can see it or not. But a tree limb got one of my lights. I'm going to have to replace it. And I'm going to have to put my stack back on my muffler. Last year I had a little problem with the muffler. Probably about the same time I broke that light out. A tree limb caught it and I had to replace it. And it was during hay time and we was in a hurry, so we got one put on, and I didn't weld the stack back on it with the cap on the top to keep debris out. But it's no big deal because John stays in the barn most of the time. Well, what time you ain't out in the field, and we don't get out when it's raining. Ain't no sense in trying to bale hay and it raining. But I thought I'd just walk around and check everything. And it looks like I'm going to have to replace a rear light too. I may go with the LEDs this time, I don't know. But I did put tint on half the window. It helps. And this little red box here, that's not standard issue. That's what I keep my grease gun and my chain in. But I'm going to pull him down to the house here in a day or two. We'll change oil, change fuel filters. There's no need to change the hydraulic oil or the filters because they done all that at the shop when they was working on the PTO. I joked with my neighbor. I told him I had to send him to the proctologist because he had rear end problems. But they got that all fixed now. Or said they do. I don't know when I hook it up. And that's a 12-foot John Deere pickup disc. It don't get a whole lot of use, as you can tell from the grass growing up in it. Which around here grass will grow up and stuff seems like overnight. But I usually disc down where I've been feeding my hay and a few rough spots, but nothing for crops or anything like that. I just don't do that. Let's walk out here and look at the baler, see what it looks like. It looks like I need to replace the tarps on my doors. I was fortunate enough I found some pipe that was really cheap, so I made me two gates or two doors, and You can get these tarps at Harbor Freight. They're real cheap. They'll last about 5 years. And then just go buy you 2 more. The wire will last forever on it. But there's my hay baler. New Holland 644. And sitting back there is Little Red. He's my Farm All C. Little Red don't get a whole lot of use. Matter of fact, I need to take him down to the house and wash him. He's mostly a summertime tractor. We drive down to the store and get a cold drink on Sundays, and or we may go out to the neighbor's house and visit, take the kids for a ride. But that's about all Little Red does. You might notice this door latch I got. It's an old piece of roller chain that I just repurposed. I'm sure, I can't recall his name now, but he always repurposes stuff, and he's down there down south. Oh, I wish I could remember his name. It's a sign of when you're getting old. There's a set of bottom plows that I know I haven't used in 12 years. Now that right there is an old Oliver. Now I've used it quite a bit, even though it don't look like it. But I use it to plow out my ditches when it's dry enough. Here lately ain't been dry enough, didn't have to worry about it. And a box brick. If you don't have but one piece of equipment on the farm, I guess that right there is what you're supposed to have, is a box blade. And a pickup disc. Back when I used to garden, that little 6-foot pickup disc come in pretty handy. And a field harrow, which I pull over the pastures. And I know it looks like a knotted up mess, but it's not really. I have other pastures that I have to go down the highway with, and you can't drag that down the highway. So I made that to pick it up and pack it to where I need to go and put it back down. And there's old John's favorite. There's 3 14s. John can walk a dog with them 3 14s now. One of my neighbors said one day when I was plowing, said I was throwing the dirt out of the fur before the plow ever hit the ground. And my other bush hog blew up. Well, it didn't blow up, but the gearbox blew out. And it was old. And it was about $1,800 for a new gearbox. So I just broke down a couple of years ago and bought that thing. It's a HX 15-foot batwing, heavy duty. According to the manual, it'll cut a 4-inch stem. I've never seen a 4-inch stem. Now I've seen some 4-inch saplings, but I ain't never seen a stem that was 4-inch. We usually call them limbs. And you can't get that thing up the tree cut a limb. But it does a pretty good job on JR. It's heavy. I mean, it's heavy. I bet the tongue of that thing weighs 400 pounds. And why John Deere, I like John Deere, they make good stuff, gotta complain every now and then. Why they didn't put this slip clutch back there where you didn't have to pick that thing up and wrestle it to hook it on. I'll never understand. Because that thing right there weighs about 100 pounds. And my old coach packer I drag with my four-wheeler. And there's my 4-basket hay tedder. I can't think of his name either. Starts with a B, Farms. I think I'm going to have to start writing this down so I can remember it. But he does hay, and he was talking about his new hay rake. Unfortunately, my hay rake is not here. But I can't complain much, because he raked hay for me, and it was hooked on his tractor. We went to his house and raked hay, and he was going to bring it back the next day, and didn't. So yeah, he just didn't. That's my squeeze chute for my cattle. It works real good. I've never had one try to get out of it. It's heavy too. I'm kind of like Chucky of 2009. I want stuff that'll last. So I usually get heavy duty stuff. I did the research, and they actually work Brahmas in those Powder River squeeze chute. So that's what I got. And here's a little hint for you farmers. I don't know if you can see this or not. I'll take you up here where you can. Get you some of that great stuff foam. That right there ain't nothing but a wasper's nest waiting to happen. Same way up there at the front. And just give it a little shot. It will expand up. You don't have to worry about waspers. I really don't like wasper. Down here is my corral and cattle panel. Y'all might remember that the other day when I cleaned all that brush up. And then of course it rained, so I couldn't get back in there to clean the rest of it up. I'll probably take my four-wheeler and that little wagon and go in there and just pick it up and clean it up. But the squeeze chute's got a manual head gate on it, and when you work cattle by yourself, it's a little hard to do it manually. So if I'm working by myself, I use this one, which is automatic. All they do is run in there, bump it, catch themselves. I come up here, do what I got to do. Never had one get out yet. But it's built out of guardrails, about 7 foot tall. I've had one cow try to get out of it. She ran up the side of it and fell flat of her back. And the old heifer jumped up and thought, well, she just didn't get a good shot at it, so she backed up in that corner and ran at it again and gave it another jump. The second time she decided she had enough, and she didn't try it the third time. But there's another one of them homemade gates. Like I said, I had plenty of pipe. As a matter of fact, it was a fence. And you might see right here where I cut it off. It was a fence that went around a walk. And they wanted to do away with it, so I brought the pipe home. It's good heavy wall pipe. And here's it, fill them full. Great stuff if you don't want waspers. And it's got a chain. Don't know if you can see this or not, but I took an old roller chain, made my hinges. It's welded onto a bracket that goes on there and there, and cut a hole out in the guardrail where this goes through, and there's a pin that drops to the back end. If I want to put something in here and keep it overnight, I don't never have to worry about getting out. and I made this swing gate to where I can open it up and come around. And I done this back before they even had those round chutes and tubs for you to work them in. But I swing it back over there and take 2 or 3, however many, bring them in here, put an automatic latch on it. So all you gotta do is just shove it, it latches. That needs to be got out of there. And made me a tailgate, drop down behind them so they can't back up and come out. That's pretty much it. I seen where a guy hung his gates the other day. I drilled them and just put cotter pin in them. That gate's so heavy, it ain't never gonna come off there. But I don't have to worry about it ever coming off. And same way with this, and I made this one too. Took a piece of pipe, cut it, welded me a handle in it. You don't have to go out and spend $200 or $300 on stuff. Works pretty good. Never had anything get out of it yet. But it also plans if you plan ahead. Like if you notice, the gate goes this way. That's because if anything is in there, I want it to stay in there. And the gate comes over here and hits this post. So even if I do forget to latch this gate, and it happens to be open like this, and they come up here and bump it, it's going to stay shut. But that's just some of the farm stuff I got. And I guess I've rambled on long enough. So subscribe, hit the like button, comment. I don't care what you put in the comments. Seriously, I don't. Just comment. Tell me what kind of weather you're having. If you got snow like they do up in Idaho or Illinois or Ohio, or if you got sunstroke like out in Phoenix or Arizona, just leave me a comment. Right now it's like 48 degrees and it rained all day yesterday. Well, if you look at the road, you can see where it's washed all night last night. And it's a little chilly this afternoon. I'm out here wandering around. But I had that cabin fever. I had to get out of the house. But just subscribe, like, comment, and be kind to each other. Oh, I see Stubbs out. What you doing, Stubby? Y'all are familiar with Stubby and JR anyway. What are you doing, Stubby? He worries about me when I'm gone from the house very long. So be kind to each other and keep on going. Talk to you later. Bye. What you doing, Stub? What you doing? What you doing? Hey, what you doing? What you doing? What you doing? What you doing?